All right.
All right.
Seatbelt gang. Folks, what's going on with you today? Hope everybody had an awesome 4th of July. It's the day after the 4th of July here on After Prison Show. There were so many fireworks in the neighborhood last night. I'm a part of a neighborhood, like a watch group, I guess. And somebody had posted this morning saying, the fireworks were nice, but they're illegal. That has nothing to do with what we're getting ready to do today. We're getting ready to go get an update with Juman. We haven't seen Juman in about a week. The last time that we saw him, he was pretty banged up after the moped accident. I've talked with him throughout the week, and you know, he's definitely been dealing with the aches and the pains that came from that accident. Definitely want to go check on him, see how he's doing. Jellicoe, you've even been in contact with him as well.
Yeah, man, every time I talk to him, he's been in bed laid up. So I guess, you know, the ribs after a while, you know, they start
hurting more.
Yeah, start hurting more.
You know, you would imagine as time would pass, it would be better for you. But even when I spoke with Juman, he told me the same thing, that he wasn't feeling much better at all. I want to go check on him. Like Jellicoe had mentioned, he has been bedridden. So when we go over there is a good potential that we're going to be doing this video with him laid up. But I just hope this dude has a speedy recovery, whatever that honestly means, and is able to get back to work, because I know that's something that he really wants to be able to do.
Yeah, man, that seems to be his livelihood, you know. That's, you know, a lot of things keep people down. A lot of, you know, just doing something, you know, productive every day, just moving forward every day is just a good part of a person's success, you know. And
you know, he had just started moving forward. He had just started being productive with the new job with Darnell. And this was a major setback for sure. You can never predict that something like this will happen. This is the worst case scenario, but hopefully before long he's going to be back in the swing of things.
Yeah, it shouldn't take long. I mean, it's just a healing process, and you know, a lot of times, you know, we got to be there for mental support, man. People are feeling down after something like this. You know, everything they had, and it's kind of like lost. You know, you're in bed, you're thinking about this. Should I did this? Should I done that? You know. Well,
regardless, we're on our way out to go see Juman right now, and hopefully he's feeling somewhat better.
Yeah, hopefully, man.
We've arrived at Juman's. Juman's been staying with his mother since the accident, and this is where he's been able to rest and recuperate at. So we're getting ready to go see him. You excited to see Juman?
Yeah, man. Actually, I am, man. I want to see, you know, get my eyes on him, make sure he's doing all right, you know.
That sounds like a good idea. Hopefully he's doing somewhat better. Hopefully we don't get hassled here like we did the last time. I thought we were going up to him because he told me that like walking around wasn't too easy for him.
There he is right there.
What's going on with you, man?
I can't call it. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. I'm glad to see you with the...
Out here or upstairs or where we...
Are we good for upstairs?
Yeah, you know, ain't about up there with my mom.
It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, I'm good. Good to see y'all too, man. You know, come on.
I see they got the bandages off of you.
Yeah, man, I took them off, tried to let my wounds get a little air. You know.
Good Lord.
It's all the way up here. That's still a little kind of, you know, they ain't dried up like these either.
Yeah, well, they look like they're healing at least as bad as they look. Well, Juman, we appreciate you taking the time to meet with us today.
Okay, yes, sir.
Obviously, you know, I'd like to ask how you're doing, but I can imagine still in pain.
Still in pain, man. You know, like I say, everything, my wounds, everything seem to be healing up. Is, you know, my ribs though, you know what I mean? It's the pain seems like it's just spreading, like it's going around. You know, it started out right here where the ribs are actually broken at, but the pain, for some reason, it didn't spread it around towards my back. You know, my hip bone right here on my right side, you know, I wasn't feeling that at first, but now I'm starting to feel that. You know, so man, it's, you know, I don't know, it's just, I'm recuperating, you know, best I can, you know.
Been about a week since we've seen you. It's good to see that the bandages are off and that the wounds are at least attempting to heal.
Yeah, that's right, man. Because I found that the more I put the, keep the bandages up there, when I go to change them, it be stuck to the wound, and the more I peel it off, the more it keeps the wound opened up. So I said that I was just gonna let it heal up, through by air like this. It just let it heal up like that, and it's doing great, man. It's doing good.
What have you been doing? I can imagine you've probably been bored out of your mind.
Yeah, I have, man. Just sitting here, just recuperating, man. Just sitting here, it's kind of hard to really do a lot of things because, I got the use of this arm now. At first I couldn't lift this arm without my ribs hurt, but now I can use this arm, but still, it's kind of hard to lift things. I can't even really open the window, because in order to open the window, I got to kind of strain a little bit, and that's where it hurts the ribs, when I try to strain, pick something up or whatever. But other than that, man, sitting here, just recuperating,
Are you hopeful at all that you're going to be getting back to work anytime soon, or you think it's still going to be a while before you'll be able to get back to work?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a while before I get back to work. My doctor at the hospital, told me to make sure I stay out a couple weeks. So that's what I'm going to do. I ain't in no shape right now to go, even try to go back to work, even though I want to because I need the money. But I guess my health is more important than anything.
Oh yeah, for sure it is.
Yeah, I've been talking to Donnell. I talked to Donnell. I talked to, the guys that work with him. His uncle Jose. And man, they told me, man, just take my time. Whenever I'm ready, I can come on back. They just, some good dudes, man. I like, working with them. Can't wait to get back, but at the same time, all I can do is take my time.
Yeah.
Do what the doctors tell me to do.
Well, you definitely can't rush it, and the recovery and your health is the most important thing.
That's right. That's right.
And I know we mentioned it before in the first video that we did after the accident, which is, it's just so crazy. You had just gotten to work, everything was going good, and then this happens, and thankfully it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but also, this is a major setback right here.
Yeah, it is. It is, man. I'm going to try to, it's a major setback, but at the same time, it's an eye-opener, because now, even though I would like to have the scooter back or another scooter, it just really opened my eyes to the importance of a car. Like the police said, the officer said that did the report on the accident. He said that people out there, and I heard you and Jellicoe both said at the same time, that people, drivers out there don't respect, guys that's driving scooters or that's riding scooters. They don't respect them, scooters being on the road. And I heard the police, the officer, he told my mom, he said that if it was up to him, he would get all scooters off the highway. There's such negative talk about the scooters, because that is a form of transportation, And for some people like myself right now, that's all the transportation I got, So I'm not in agreement with that.
We got and I don't mean to cut you off, but we had a chance to look at the scooter. I think I told you this over the phone, but we looked at the scooter after we picked it up from you. When we picked it up, it didn't look as bad as it could have looked. But then when we got to looking at it a little bit deeper, the wheel doesn't even turn one way all that well, and it almost turns all the way around the other way, and the kickstand's all messed up. So you can definitely tell that the accident was significant.
Right.
I've wondered, and with hearing you talk about, wanting to get your license, is your mentality changing at all in terms of wanting to get back on the scooter?
No, not at all, man. Not at all. Like I say, Corso texted me a couple days ago and called me Eva Knievel, You know, but you know, it's you know, I'm not shell shocked or anything like that because of the accident. You know what I mean? Anything. You know, I still think that scooter, man, is a great form of transportation. You know what I mean? For anybody, not just me. I can't help, you know what I mean, how other people drive. You know, even if I was in a car, you know what I mean? People get in car accidents all day long, car against car against truck. It just so happened that one was a car against a scooter. You know what I mean? Man, if that's the, you know, once I heal up and able to get back to work, if the scooter is my only form of transportation, then I'm for it. You know, I would like to have it.
I want to ask you, did you get a chance to see the video that we did after the accident when we first addressed or first got a chance to talk with you after all that happened?
Yeah, I did.
There was a lot of people who were talking very positively and sending a lot of well wishes your way and a lot of prayers. Angelico told me that, you know, his inbox on Facebook was getting blown up, and just so many people are just grateful to hear that, you know, it's not as bad as it could have been,
right,
but also hopeful and praying that you are able to make a speedy recovery and get back on your feet.
Yeah, that's right, man. You know, for everybody that's out there supporting me, man, I appreciate the love and support that they showing, man. I don't know, you know, what to say, you know what I mean, to something like that, you know, because I never really had that type of support other than family. But to hear that, you know, people out there, man, is just rooting for me, you know what I mean, supporting me, wanting to see me get well, man. You know, it kind of touched me a little bit right here, man. You know what I mean? It do something to me, man. Make me feel look good. Much love to them out there, man, you know.
You know, you said that you haven't been doing too much, but obviously trying to recuperate, probably, like I said, being bored out of your mind. You know, I can imagine this is a time for you to probably just sit around and do a lot of thinking.
Yeah, I have been, you know, about a lot of things, man. You know, right now, you know, you hear me talk a lot about family. Right now, most of my family is on vacation. You know, ain't everybody went to Florida, you know what I mean, for a couple weeks, man. So really it's just me and my mama and my little great nephew right here, man. You know, but everybody else, they in Florida. You know, if it wasn't for the accident, I probably would be in Florida myself. You know.
One thing I want to ask you is, with the thinking and things that you're doing like that, do you find yourself at all, I can imagine so, like find yourself at all depressed and, you know, probably just kind of feeling down and out?
No, not at all. You know, this, I kind of learned, man, throughout the years of my time in prison, to start, you know, to look at things or look at the glass as half full instead of half empty. You know what I mean? You know, I try to see the good or the positive in a lot of situations. You know what I mean? I try not to focus just on the negative. Even this accident right here, I feel like something good came out of it, or something good that can come out of it. And that's where my focus is at. It's on the good, not the positive, not the negative aspect of it. You know, yeah, it's a hell of a thing, man, to go through a situation like that, or to be in that type of, you know, an accident like that. But I can't dwell on what could have happened. You know what I mean? All I can think about is where I'm going from here. It happened, you know what I mean? But hey, man, I can't dwell on that, you know what I mean? What could have happened? Yeah, I could have lost my life, sure, you know, but I didn't. I'm still here. So my thing now is where I'm gonna go from right here. I got to look at the positive of it. You know, a lot of people may say, how can you find something positive or something good in getting in an accident? I look at it as this, you know, for a lot of religious people out there, they say that it want my time to go. You know what I mean? God must have had something better for me. So my thing is to find out what that something better is from this point on. I don't know if anybody can understand, you know, anybody else can understand that, but I understand it. And that's what's important. Clear to me that it just won't my time.
You know, it's just amazing to hear how positive you are remaining with this situation, and ultimately it is a negative situation that has happened. You know, I've been amazed by so much of what we've learned about your story and also your mind state. And it just really goes and shows the strength of an individual, or the strength that you have as a person to be able to maintain in the face of negative situations. And I can imagine, you know, quite a bit of that came from what you went through throughout all of the time that you were in prison.
Right. Yeah, man. You know, prison, like I said in the very first video that we did, man, you know, I learned a lot of things in prison, you know, good and bad. But the most important thing that I learned in prison was the things that I learned about myself. You know what I mean? You know, I used to love to be by myself, you know, in isolation, segregation, you know, closed up in a room to where it's just me, you know, for months at a time, man. I used to love that because those were the moments that I learned about myself, what I can endure, what I can't endure. You know, the things that I liked about myself, the things I didn't like about myself. A lot of things I didn't like about myself, I tried to change them, you know, because if I don't like these things about myself, I'm quite sure other people that dealt with me didn't like them either. So I try to change myself a little bit, man, and train myself to not just look at the negative parts of, you know what I mean, a situation, man. I try to look at the good in it, try to look at some, you know, because, man, you know, if I go through life looking at the negative aspect of each situation, then I never get nowhere. I never grow. You know what I mean? So in order to move forward, man, I got to look at the glass as being half full instead of half empty.
Look at him.
He sleep.
I see how y'all do, man. I see how y'all do. This thing's comfy right here, man.